What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be checking out this Marvel Legends Maximum Series Thor. Let's take a closer look at the packaging here. Side art. And here's the back. Alright, let's crack them open. Alright, so here is Maximum Thor. And I did get him from Amazon. I will have that link included in the description of the video if you do wish to purchase him from Amazon. And yeah, this is a Thor figure. I kind of feel like Thor out of the big Avengers 4, Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, and Thor, of course. Out of all four of these guys, I feel like Thor gets the least amount of love, like the least amount of figures. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because to me, it's like you always see a Captain America figure. Yeah, Hulk always has figures, it seems like. And obviously Iron Man has a ton of different suits and armors and stuff like that. So I feel like Thor doesn't get much love. So it's nice to finally see him getting kind of like a definitive Thor here. And it is a very nice figure. So let's take a closer look at Maximum Thor here. He's got that nice head sculpt, pretty cool, with the helmet. And not a lot of head articulation. That's probably one of the few drawbacks of this figure, but it's decent. He does go far back down as that. And, whoa, kind of took off his head. That is kind of the weird thing about this, is that the head is kind of got like a hair piece. And it goes into these two little peg thingies, and it's not very secure in there when you're moving his head, so just be aware of that. But his head does not go back much at all because of the long hair and cape and stuff like that, so you're not going to get a lot of head articulation, but that's okay. Of course, he's got the double jointed pinless for the arms, and of course the legs are the same thing. I mean, not too bad, not too stiff, the joints. He does come, hey, look at that. A wired cape, look at that. From Marvel Legends, that is extremely rare to have a wired cape. Usually it's kind of like McFarlane's or some other brand that has that. But for a Marvel Legends, that is a rarity, definitely. And a wired on top of that. Ooh. The skirt is plastic, kind of, not really cloth, but like, I don't know, it's kind of like a plastic here, but it's not so bad, whereas it's not a hard plastic, so you can actually sit him down where it's not going to really interfere with his sitting down. If you wanted to put him on like a throne or a chair, he does do that. I mean, it's not hard plastic, so you're good with that. He does have toe articulation, in case you wanted that. To me, I don't really care for toe articulation. It just kind of makes it look awkward and weird. And why Thor needs toe articulation, I don't know. But you do get it with this figure. I guess because it's a maximum, whatever. But I was never a fan of toe articulation. I could care less, to be honest with you. But yeah, this is a really nice modern update of Thor, modern looking Thor figure. I really like it. Really, really like this figure. In case you were wondering how he looks without the cape in the back there. He does have this little strap thingy too, which is pretty cool. Nice little details there on this figure. You got the belt and his little shoulder thingies and these little circle things on his suit. But yeah, very nice figure. And, it should be. It's a Maximum Thor figure, so everything should be very nice on this figure. So he does come loaded with accessories and additional hands and heads. As you could see, of course, it's a Maximum figure, so he's got to have lots of accessories. So we'll start with this kind of like a horn thingy. That's pretty cool there. Like a little unique accessory there. Then he comes with his hammer, of course, and this is just like the straight up handle with the little loop thingy that goes with his hand. and then you get a, this is cool, I really like that, the hand pre-attached to the hammer, so he's got that flying effect. That's really cool, definitely like that. And then he's got like an extra handle. I don't know where this kind of looks like a little bit skinnier than this. I don't know exactly where this goes, if this just is an extra handle or what. Maybe you put it in the ground or something. I don't know. That's a little weird to me, but it comes with that. It comes with the additional head. This I don't know if this one pops out as well, or if it's, oh yeah, it does. So that just pops out if you want to switch his different head plate thingy, or head lower head, whatever you want to call it, to the angry face. You get that. All in all, you do get 3 additional heads, or 2 additional heads with the one already there, I should say. You get the helmet and the one with just the hair, so you could, you know, kind of play with it, whatever combination you wanted to. He comes with the 2 gripping hands for his hammer, and then he comes with 2 fists as well. And you got his lightning effects, which this comes with a lot of different other figures, these kind of lightning bolt effects. So nothing really too special there. And then, of course, the most unique thing about this figure, I would say, is the, I don't know what this character is called, Frog Thor or Frog, I don't know, Throg or whatever you want to call him. I don't know exactly the lore behind this figure, but he is like a frog version of Thor. You know, he's got his cape. This figure is not articulated at all. This is just kind of fixed position, so you can't really do anything with this figure. He doesn't even go down or anything like that. To me, this is just a gimmick, man. I could care less about this Frog Thor figure. It's just, honestly, I would have rather have a hammer in a rock. And you can have like different figures. You can make like a diorama with different figures trying to pick up the hammer with the rock, that in the hammer in the rock. So you can, you know, create that scene in Thor 1. Yeah, if you remember, or not Thor 1, Age of Ultron, where all the heroes are trying to pick up the hammer, and it's like, you know, kind of, it's not, I know it wasn't in a rock in that movie. It was in Thor 1, it was in a rock, but you get what I'm saying. Like, just have like a hammer inside a rock, as opposed to, you know, just a random frog Thor. I like unique accessories. I like something that, you know, makes this figure stand out and worthwhile, especially in a Maximum, you know, series figure. I definitely want something very, very unique accessories and stuff like that. So I think that would have really, really made this figure pop if they had that, but sadly it did not come with it. And in case you were wondering about the head peg, or the neck peg, I should say, is the double ball peg in there, not the disc peg that they used. So just wanted to show you that before I do the additional heads I'm going to swap them out with. So that's how he looks like with the screaming head with the helmet on. And that's how he looks like with the smiling face with the helmet on. That's how he looks like with the screaming head with the just the hair, not the helmet on. And then you have the mad face with the just the hair on. So, and that is the default smiling head with just the hair. And here is a little comparison shot I did with the 2012 Terex Build-A-Figure Wave Thor. This is one basically this figure is based off of, and what they were trying to recreate here. As you could see, this guy is a lot thicker. He's a lot, you know, chunkier than the Maximum Series Thor. And of course, he does not have that cloth cape. And the height is about the same. Maybe he's just a little pinch tighter than this guy. I don't know if you can really see, but it's pretty much the same height wise. I don't know if you can really tell there, but maybe like I said, just a little bit, a hair bigger. Another difference is that this guy's little belt thingy moves, whereas the Maximum Thor actually does not. This is kind of just fixed on there. It's actually, you can't even move that at all. So that's a little bit of difference. Again, not nothing huge or big. Of course, the Maximum Thor, I believe, is definitely the better figure. I mean, a lot more articulation here than this guy. This guy is extremely stiff, although he does have good, articulation in the abdomen. But, his hands, this is not a double jointed figure. Actually is pinless, but it is not a double jointed. So you don't get that range of motion in there. And then of course the head is absolutely atrocious, no real movement there up or down. So his legs are pins in there, they do have pins, so that looks kind of but definitely the Maximum Thor has a lot better articulation there, as much as I guess a Thor figure would have. Of course, you got that wire cape. That is really cool. I really love that. And let's try to head swap these guys. And there you go. There is the head swap. It does kind of work. The old head with the new body is kind of like a bobblehead, though. It's very loose. So you don't really, it's just a different head peg. The hole's a little bit bigger. So, but the new head with the older body does work a little bit. Again, this is a fixed, this is one of those fixed head pegs, so it does not move at all. So it's, a little bit variation in size. I don't want to put it on all the way to stretch out that head, but it does go on there. It's just not all the way. I think you could get it on there all the way if you really tried, but I'm not going to really do that. I don't want to stretch out the head. But that looks actually pretty decent. It actually looks really good on the older body. Not a bad older body, but it's like it's kind of outdated, But yeah, that's the head swaps there. And here he is with the Herald of Galactus Thor. That was from 2022, the controller Build-A-Figure wave. Just to do a little bit more comparison shot there of a more modern Thor. I did like this Thor up until this new Maximum. He was my favorite Thor because I just like the more modern looking Thor. I don't know, for me the more classic look is kind of a little goofy with the head and the helmet and everything. So I mean, he's okay. I mean, I was never a classic Thor guy, but I do like the more modern day suit. And the head sculpts on this Maximum Thor, I gotta say, are a lot better than the classic ones. And of course this guy, look at that head sculpt, that looks terrible. So yeah, much improved there. And in case you were wondering, this is how he looks like with the Herald of Galactus head on the Maximum Thor body. And this is the Maximum Thor head on the Herald body, but I don't know, it kind of sinks in there, so it's not that great for that head swap. I don't like it. It's too sunken in. So that one kind of didn't really work, but the Herald Galactus head on the Maximum Thor body looks pretty good. I like that one. So works, doesn't really work. I mean, depends on what you like. I mean, the head's a little bit sunken in there, so a little bit sunken in for my taste, but maybe you guys will like it. I don't know. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but he does have neck articulation, and he does have that double head peg as well. So he does have a movement in the neck, so that's an additional articulation point in case you were wondering. All right, so there you have it. That is the Maximum Thor. And all in all, I do like this figure. I really love the updated, more modern day look of Thor. And I do think this is the definitive Thor figure, especially if you wanted like a modern day Thor. I do think this is a very nice figure, and I do definitely recommend him. Of course, I love that wire cape. That's a huge plus. The updated joints and stuff. I think this is the best probably articulated Thor that we have so far. The cloth skirt, the additional accessories are really cool. Although I do not really a fan of that frog Thor. I think they could have used something like the, you know, the hammer in the like Rock, so you can have a scene where the heroes are trying to pick up the hammer, and it looks, you know, like they're struggling and stuff like that. So just something, you know, more unique to really, really make this figure stand out, especially because it's a maximum, you know, figure. So just have something, you know, a little bit better. I mean, I'm not a fan. I know some people will like the Frog Thor and they'll be satisfied, but I'm not really a fan of it. But everything else is pretty good. I mean, the head sculpts are pretty solid. You know, you get, you know, a smiley one, you get the angry yelling face. So, you know, it's all in all, it's a very good figure. I love it. I'm very happy with it, and I do recommend it. If you do not have a more modern day Thor, this is a perfect figure for you to pick up. And yeah, I will definitely have that Amazon link in the description of the video if you do wish to purchase him again. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video, guys. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.